This was the scene today in an Abuja court. Children held in captivity from the far north of Nigeria, largely dominated by Islam. Their crime was protesting against President Tinubu's regime, which rode on Muslim tickets to garner the votes of the same north. The protest was over hunger, which is evident in these children. Less than 1 year into his administration, his economic policies plunged Nigeria into untold hardship, a rock-bottom poverty that wiped the middle class, drove them into the poorest of the poor, and dehumanized the poor. The religious sentiments of the Islam-dominated North believed that the worst Muslim is better than the best or the qualified order. Protest is also seen as haram. But hunger has no rules. The IMF, World Bank, believes Nigeria have to endure for the next 10 to 15 years to see their Tinubu-imbibed economic policies materialized. But how long can Nigeria further wait? Nigeria laws, as a secular state, does not condone the arraignment and prosecution of minors who exercised the right of expression, but the influence of Sharia laws on the country's laws are an entanglement. The prosecutors are shameless liars who contradict themselves with murderous tendencies. The desperate government wants to make an example of these children. The president now says there is no other way out. Which way? Nigeria.
The central bank has had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended. And Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course.
Chai, Nigeria, look no further. This is the roots of all your problems. Now we know the people advising our economic team, central bank, and all the people making all the financial policies with Mr. President, who will tell a sane person to stay the course of poverty, abject poverty, which they agreed is dire for 10 to 15 years. Even an ordinary human being who has problems or is poor will be struggling to come out of that poverty within days, if not seconds, and at most months. They will take decisive steps to bring themselves out of it. But IMF and World Bank is telling you that Cardoso is helping to put Nigeria in the right position. And you have seen what the right position is, where they want you to be. A very dependent, poverty-ridden country, a template or sample for their experiments, so that you cannot compete anywhere in the world. This is terrible. Nigeria must resist this, and it cannot stand. It cannot stand. They tell you it's going to be there, but that if Nigeria does that, it's going to be an engine of progress or prosperity.
But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy.
In 15 years, when we can fix our problems on the immediate.
So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me.
Nigeria is the senior brother to all these West African countries and is expected to take its place. When it does, the sub-Saharan Africa they talked about will flourish.
These boys that we brought to the court today, all of them are adults. Most of them are married men. None of them is a minor. Some of them are university graduates. The small kids you are seeing here, they came with some of their parents to come and greet their loved ones. They are not even the real suspect standing trial in this case. These young boys are trying to destabilize Nigeria, using the Russian flags and other countries, calling on the military to remove our president.
This is very pathetic. It's good. His colleagues are jeering at him, making fun of his stupidity and his gullibility. How psycho-friendly can a legal practitioner be? What does he mean by the nonsense he just spilled from his mouth? These are the people at the disposal of the federal government against its people, against the Nigerian people. I'm sure if he goes back to listen to himself, he will see how ridiculous he was in that clip. May we never experience this kind of legal practitioners who divert our trajectory in life as a country for peanuts and search for jobs.
Our economy is going through a tough patch and you are being hurt by it, I know. The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses are struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were, I would have taken that route.